a full-time job. Oh, thanks. My husband was working a job that was like 30 minutes away from town, so he was constantly gone. And because of Plexus and the passion that I had, the vision that I had for what this could be for me and my family is what really like spurred me on to really dive in deep with this business, with it being really hard, with the fear of rejection, with the fear of what other people were going to think of me, with the fear, like so many fears of not knowing enough about the products, fears of maybe not having a fast enough story for me to have like a powerful enough story to share with people. There were so many fears, but my passion and my belief in what this could be for our family far outweighed those fears. So if you are in that place of sitting in fear and that fear is driving your business, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to go very far. But the good news is that you can change that. And what I have found is that that fear diminishes the more into action I get, because I notice that there's more overwhelm and anxiety and fear when I'm not really moving the needle forward in my business, when I'm sitting and kind of just hoping that somebody sees a post of mine, hoping that someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to be your next business builder." That doesn't tend to happen. And so that's why we do these power hours. That's why we spur you on to get out of your comfort zone and send the messages. If you don't have your camera on and you're able to turn it on, I would love for you to do so. And I would love for you to raise your hand if you were invited into Plexus, if you received a voice message or a text or a messenger from your sponsor. Raise your hand if you ever got a message from your sponsor inviting you to come and do Plexus. So keep it up because I want to see. Surely it's not just me and Jordan and Ashley and Randy. Are you kidding me? Okay, I see Brittany there, and Brittany, Layla, there we go, Ashley, good job. Okay, so I just want that to encourage you that, and Katie, she's got her little emoji hand up, that half of the people in this group here got a message from their sponsor. So I just want you to like understand that there's value in sending messages, as scary as it may seem. So I want to read to you guys real quick, and then we'll get started. We did in our team, we did a messaging kind of challenge inspiration last week, and I gave some tips. So if you would like to write these down, you're welcome to. I think I have 7 of them here. So first one is stop overthinking. You are loved and you are inviting people to try the products, to be a part of the community and or learn about the opportunity. You don't need a perfect script. You need your heart to speak. So stop overthinking and stop trying to polish and perfect your messages. People want to hear from you. And I feel like Jordan is really, really good at this. I think Callie Beal also is very good at just sharing, like, so you know when you're getting that message, you know that came from Jordan Ronberry. You know that that was not a copy and paste, and that's super important because people are already kind of naturally like, I don't want to be sold to, so stop overthinking. Tip number 2, stop word vomiting and keep it short and simple. We say this over and over and over again because this is something that we constantly have to work on. We constantly could say all the things, but people don't have time to read all the things. You've got time for that. Conversation will happen and you can say those things in smaller increments. Tip number 3, end with a question to keep the conversation going. I don't want to hear, or I don't want to see, let me know what you think, because that's going to be real awkward in a couple of months when you get back in touch with them and you haven't had like a way to like continue that conversation. Tip number 4, don't assume. What does assuming make out of us? Don't respond because there are children around, but you know. So don't assume. Don't assume that people have seen your post. Do you know that I want to say there's some crazy algorithm where it's like only, I don't know, I'm making up this number, but it's really low, like only like 3% of your network see your post. So don't get your panties in a wad thinking, oh gosh, somebody's not liking my post, somebody's not commenting. They very well may not see it. And also, I'm going to just say one quick pet peeve. When people message me and say, hey, I'm sure that you've seen my post, I'm like, no, I haven't seen your post. So that's just like a personal pet peeve, but don't just assume. Don't assume that people are annoyed with Plexus. half the time people don't even know what Plexus is. Don't assume that people don't want the products. Don't assume that people are intentionally ghosting you. How many times have you guys seen a message come through, or a text or a phone call, and you just haven't had a chance to respond? That has nothing to do with how you feel about that person. It's everything to do with your time. So don't assume, and then again, get your panties in a wad and go down this crazy emotional rabbit hole. That's not healthy for you, not healthy for your business. And then, yep, I just said assuming tends to put you in unfortunate and untrue mindsets that do not serve you in your business. Tip number 5, prioritize reaching out and following up with your people daily. When I hear people saying that their business isn't really moving anywhere, that's often one of the first questions I'll ask is, how many people are you messaging a day? What does that look like? What do your messages look like? How are you following up with your people? Because again, with the stats of only 1 out of 10 people might respond, your stats are pretty low. And if you're only messaging 1 or 2 people a week, you cannot get upset when people are not responding and you're not in conversation. So get into the action daily. Tip number 6, if you're messaging the same 5 to 10 people, it's time to grow your network. Start engaging with more people. One of the very first things, and we're going to do this in a minute, one of the very first things when you sit down and you're like, I don't know where to start simple and send birthday messages. That's engagement. That's not you asking for something. That's not you inviting them to something. That's you celebrating this person. So start there. Start with that engagement. Meet people, grow in your courage, and invite the people who make you nervous to message. Those are the ones that are so important to message. And again, going back to tip number, 1? It doesn't need to be polished. It just needs to be from your heart. And the last tip I have, if you want to grow and not fall back in points or maintain, you need to understand the statistic, which I just shared. 1 out of 10 people tend to respond to messages. If you are only sending out 1 to 2 messages a week, do not get upset when you don't see growth in your potato. Not in your potato. In your business.
Did you just say potato?
I did.
How did that even happen?
In a minute. Don't get upset if you don't see growth in your business. Prioritize messaging people, because this is the meat and potatoes of your business. That's where it is. I live in Idaho. Potatoes are always on the brain. All right. So what I want you guys to do, I hope that was like, okay, here we go. We can do this. We are professional business owners. We are confident in what we have to offer. We have so much to offer that can change the lives of so many people. So we're going to be bold, because we can let our boldness be a blessing, and we're not going to be attached to the results, and we're going to have fun, and we're going to get into action. So first step is, let's go do birthday messages. Go to your Facebook and send out birthday messages, not necessarily on their wall. I sometimes do it on the wall for like men, but yeah. So go send some messages, and then we'll be right back after birthdays.
Answer.
Okay, I set a timer for 5 minutes on that, so that just went off. We're going to transition into engagement. So if you haven't finished your birthday messages, you may continue with that. But I want to spend another 5 minutes on engagement because I think that's really important since we are in relationship building. So here's like a weird little thing that I do with engagement because I have tons of friends and I don't really know who I need to be following, who I need to be following up with. So often it's hard for me to like put together a big, huge list. Anyhow, what I have been doing is in my stories, I will go and see who's viewed my stories. And then, you can see you can see their little bubble. And if they themselves have a story, you can see a little circle. So I'll go and I'll watch their stories and I will comment in their stories. And I'll go back to who watched my stories and I'll comment on those people who have stories going. So that's one way that I engage with people because I know they're already watching my things. The other way that I engage with people is in that birthdays thing on Facebook. You can see upcoming birthdays. And so I'll look for a week out to see who's got birthdays coming up. And if there are people in there that are like dream teamers, then I will go to their page because a lot of times I will forget because y'all have 4,000 friends. So it's easy to forget and let people fall through the cracks, which I'm sure you all feel the same way. So go and look at the upcoming birthdays if you don't want to go the stories route. See whose birthdays are coming up in the next week, and then you can go and engage either on their stories or on their posts. We'll spend 5 minutes doing that. Okay, so that timer just came off. That was for your engagement. So yesterday, if you were on Katie's power hour that she led, she's real ambitious and she told everybody to send out 3 dream teamer messages in about 0.2 seconds. So I'm going to encourage you guys to send out 1 dream team message, and I want you to put heart and thought into it. But again, don't worry about it being perfectly scripted. I want you to be thinking about why this person comes to mind, why you think they would be an incredible leader within the company, why you think they would do well here. And I want you to tell them that's why you are thinking of them. That's why you think that they would be amazing at this business. I'm going to send over a few examples that are a little bit unpolished, but are really good. So let's spend the next 7 to 10 minutes crafting that dream team message. It can be on voice message. It can be written too. I will say I have quite a few people randomly that tell me they can't open my voice messages. So I've done that less. So anyhow, that's my 2 cents, but let's go ahead and send them in the thread, the chat, whenever you guys get them up, just as inspiration. Kara, thank you for sending that in the thread. The timer just went off, but I want to encourage everyone to go to the thread before we close up our call today and copy and paste these into either the note section in your phone or send them to yourself in Messenger, and then you can go through and look through them as inspiration, because you are not going to copy and paste them, but you're going to use them as inspiration. Oh, good. There's another one from Gina. I'll give everybody just a few seconds to copy and paste. I'm going to do the same. Okay, you guys, these are so good. I love you all. This is so fun. Thank you so much. I won't end it yet, so you guys can all continue to copy and paste. But just wanted to remind you that tomorrow's Power Hour is going to be led by Emerald Marissa Almond, and that will be 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a good evening one for those of you who have people who work during the day. Okay, feel free to jump off whenever you have copied all of those. I'll keep this going for the next minute or two. Thank you guys so much for being on. You guys are the best. Jordan and Joanna, if you guys want to stay on, we can talk real fast